Hello everyone. Welcome to the Digitech Dialogue. I am Arpit Gupta. The Digitech Dialogue series is an initiative of ETGovernment, the Economic Times. Today, my guest is Dr. Madhu Chitkara, who is the Pro-Chancellor of Chitkara University, Punjab and Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh. Welcome, Dr. Chitkara.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the audience, Dr. Chitkara is a seasoned academician and an entrepreneur. She co-founded Chitkara Educational Trust in 1998 with a vision to impart quality education to seekers of this region. Since then, the 4 organizations under the ambit of the trust, 2 universities and 2 schools have grown to become the most sought after place for the students seeking quality education. Dr. Chitkara has PhD in education and has had a diversified career with a varied experience in the field of education spanning 4 decades. At Chitkara University, she has been instrumental in creating more than 60 relevant industry-linked programs in the fields of hospitality, engineering, management, architecture, art and design, nursing, healthcare, teacher training, mass communication, and pharmacy at graduate and postgraduate and doctorate level. Her contribution also extends to building incubation centers for the students having an entrepreneurial mind. With more than 100 incubate companies, Dr. Madhu Chitkara's concern and love for a clean and green environment and her team's unique initiatives helped Chitkara University attain a position among top 3 cleanest universities of India in the Swachhata ranking 2017 by the Government of India. Dr. Madhu Chitkara, I once again welcome you and let's begin the conversation. What are some major roadblocks you foresee in India's education digital transformation journey and how can this be overcome? Over to you.
Thank you, Arpit. But if you see the last 1.5 years, I think we must appreciate the efforts of all the people who are into education. And they immediately, I think 22nd March was the day when we were trapped for this particular pandemic. And within a week, I think not only in Chitkara, but all across the world, the teachers were the first front warriors, those who shifted from offline to online. I think that was a great initiative taken by them. We must appreciate, we must pat them that was a good thing where all the students were comfortable. But coming to your question that what are the major roadblocks and which we also observed and which we also see that where were the problems, where were the roadblocks? The first roadblock was that there was a digital connectivity in remote areas of the country, which was a major roadblock. So the problem of connectivity was there and some remote areas. So we did something. It was not that we were not able to reach them. So that I will discuss in the future discussions. But the first roadblock was this. And the second was that the teachers were not trained in digital landscape. In some of the universities where those who were digital in nature, they were using those things, the MOOCs classes were there. So teachers were trained for online mode also. So there was a hybrid modes used in some of the universities. But as a whole, if you see, there was second roadblock was the teachers training in digital landscape, whether it is using, generating, or accessing the digital content. I think that was a major second roadblock. And coming to the first point, if in detail, if we want to elaborate on the first point, that our country, if we talk about India, so the educational institutes, they all shifted the gear in almost that I was saying that in 1 week for the last 1.5 years, now coming to be 2 years, that all of us shifted to the online mode, and 100% that online mode was seamless internet connectivity. That is again a big question in our country, not only in our country, but in some of the countries also. And we all talked, we knew about the digital divide, but we could feel the brunt of it most when we needed the digital connectivity the most. And so I think that was the first problem which we all faced. And today, if we talk about that, we all are talking about the digital universities, online education more than ever before. And one very good joke is coming, and you know that everybody's talking about it, that one fine morning, we were saying that the mobiles are not to be used by the students in the class, they will be fined. And all of a sudden, within a week, we said, all of you should have smartphones, all of you should use those phones. So see that the dilemma of the situation, that within a week time, we shifted from those very systems which was not allowed otherwise, right? So I think that was the first point which I want to discuss. And the second point was that pre-pandemic, if you see all the regulatory bodies, including UGC, including the other bodies also, we were talking about the career advancement and the promotions of the faculty, but never we did any FDP in the digital pedagogy domains. I think we were doing the FDPs in teaching learning processes. We were doing FDPs in other domains, but never ever we did it for the professors FDPs where we are talking about the digital pedagogy domains. But if you see now, there is a matter of the fact that now digital content, digital instruction, digital assessments are different ballgame. I think it's very altogether different ballgame, and we have to prepare our teachers for these skills. And this is a great task to do. So everybody now at national level, at international level, they are working on that how to do the FDPs for the teachers, those who were not very comfortable for the offline mode. So we worked very hard, but now future is the hybrid learning. It will be going the blended mode will be there, some offline, some online. And UGC is also saying that some courses should be done in MOOCs platforms. So I think that is our next journey. We have to face that.
Let me also understand your views on National Education Policy 2020. How do you envision digital infrastructure revolutionizing India's education system and empowering the entrepreneurship ecosystem?
NEP came at a very right time. So when NEP 2020 came, and I think for the last 1 year, we all are working on NEP, that how to implement it. The policy is with us. Now, only challenge with all the educational institutes is that how to implement that policy. And I think 2020 NEP came very right time. And it can be a coincidence, or it can be a planned feature, that NEP has one full section on widespread usage of information technology to increase the access and quality of education. So I think if you go through the whole document of NEP, I have gone through, I have crammed it. So NEP 2020, I know that what all they wanted, because as a university promoter, I wanted it to be implemented as early as possible. So if you see that the recommendations given by NEP, we have to make online and digital accessibility and affordable. It should be very affordable, and it should be accessible to more number of people. So these two features open a plethora of opportunities for young researchers. You know that during this time, you talk about the researchers, you talk about the innovators, you talk about the entrepreneurs, you talk about edupreneurs. There are so many startups came up during this time, and they all were working on the digital spaces. Right. So I think that was a great opportunity for our young researchers. They left their jobs and they started working on their own to come up with any app or come up with a software where they can help the professors, they can help the educators to work very efficiently in the educational field. So I think the last 2 years now, it is already last 2 years, edtech companies are becoming the unicorns in no time. So in a click of a button, the edtech companies came into the picture. And it never happened. Before this pandemic, it never happened that so many edtech companies are coming in the market to give you the solutions. So I think this was a great opportunity which came very handy to us. Though the pandemic was very bad for us, they thrown life out of the gear across the world. But I think it has opened a very different world of opportunities to the tech people, right? And there is a rush of technology-backed companies. There are so many startups in the news. And even in our Chitkara campus also, we have a very robust system of seed, we have incubation centers, we have 3 incubation centers. There we give the seed money to the startups. And during this time, we got so many patents, we got so many researchers working on taking in mind the technology. So these companies are seeing multiple rise in fresh hires, and they are hiring the people. So placements are there, and they can work from home. So they are working according to their own convenience, and the packages have gone, I think not, you can say multiplied twice, but thrice also. So I think this has happened in this field, and I can only say that future is bright for these all type of companies.
What role can the private sector play in ensuring equitable use of technology and bridging the digital divide in the education and skill sector?
We have seen that during this pandemic, no government, no private, they all were together. They all were working. I think this was the first time when the private, the government, the public universities, the private universities, and the industry, and the regulatory body, and the government. I know that one of my webinar was where we did it with Punjab government, where the CM of Punjab was there, where the people from industries were there, where the people from academia was there, and some of the regulators. So I think now this is a time not to divide the problem into government and private, but now I think this is a joint responsibility of everybody, anybody, anywhere, everywhere. I think this is a common problem, and everybody will have to come together to solve it. So as I already emphasized earlier, that this is a national issue, and top-down approach is to be followed for solving the digital infrastructure problems. So I will give you one very good example, that we have a media school with us. We have a Chitkara radio 107.8 frequency, and we have a community radio. It's owned by Chitkara University in Punjab. What we did that during this period, whenever there was a problem and we were not able to had the bandwidth there, where some of the because there was villages around us. It's in a rural background, and we adopted the villages around our university. So when they were finding the problems connecting, there were a problem of the bandwidth. So during that period, whatever CBSE lectures were there, CBSE notes were there, they have the recorded notes, recorded lectures for the students. So we did that through that Chitkara radio. So it was a joint responsibility of that local government and Chitkara University to give the upliftment to the educational system of the schools around us. So I think it is a national issue. Top-down approach is to be followed, and digital infrastructure is to be strengthened. So I think that will be, if we do this, if we can be able to do this, all the problems will be solved, and concurrent approach has to be followed. Adoption and improvement of digital content can be done. So now what we have started doing is that where we were finding the problems in summer, because now we have started coming to the campuses, our professors are coming. So they have started, they have done one group of people are working to do the courses which can be recorded, where we found that there was a problem. Now, for example, the practicals. So we have started working on the simulations. Simulated techniques are to be used. So we investing the infrastructure investment is very important. Different type of gadgets have to be taken. Now you see that where I am sitting here, it's our e-lounge. We named it as a e-lounge, it's a Studio 401. So here we have a screen. If I see front screen, there are 20 LEDs are there. At one point of time, we can talk to 1,000 students at one particular point of time. So the teacher or the industry wants to talk to them. So I think every university, every educational institutes have started putting the money into these type of infrastructures. And simultaneously, we all are learning from our mistakes. We are training ourselves. We are retraining ourselves and improving ourselves. So I think this is a time where we have to work on this skill set. So I think that was my take on this use of technology and bridging the digital divide in the education and skill sector.
What I feel is learning to learn is the way forward
Yes,
now.
yes. Learn, first you unlearn, then you again learn, and then you relearn. So I think that cycle should be followed. So whatever was in our mind, we have to first unlearn it, then start learning, and then whatever is left, that has to be relearned. So I think that should be the process of it.
Ma'am, where do you see the role of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart boards, devices, and classrooms to enhance the teaching learning experience?
I think, Arpit, that was already AI, ML, blockchain. For the last 3-4 years, you must have seen that these words were very frequently used, because artificial intelligence, I think, machine learning, blockchain, smart boards. We got first smart board, I think, 20 years back. So one company came to our campus and they said that there is a smart board, and we just started with our college. It was not a university. So by curiosity, we bought that. And there were the pictures that students were touching it, and there was something. So there only, it was just a curiosity. But now if you see, it cannot work. And these are the technology, these are the emerging technologies where everything is artificial intelligence is a great help. I think during lockdown, this AI, ML, blockchain, smart boards, they were a great help to all of us. And learning experience, if you see the digital or physical, so they all were a great help to us. So digital spaces can be made of smart boards. You can have virtual screens. I was just telling you that we have one room like this. So we have this permanent room, and we requested all our professors, all our educators, that at home also, if you want any type of device, you want any help from us. So our technology department is so strong that they have a group of team workers. So they help everybody that if they are not good, because everybody can't be good in technology. Some people are very scared of technology. They are not used. They are used to paper and board class. So chalk and board, I think they are very comfortable. It was scary for them to come on screen, and they know that maybe the parents are seeing them, and virtually they are giving the lectures. Where it was in a classroom, nobody was seeing. Now here, their deans can see their lecture. They can enter into their classroom virtually anytime. So I think that was a challenge for all of them. And then if some of them are very good in these technology, so we made two teams. One, the group of people who were very good in AI, ML, blockchain, and they were very comfortable in using the smart boards. They are very comfortable in using the simulations. So I think that was one group who were supporting the other group, those who were not very good. Right. So, and the students' engagement was also very important. They were not physically coming to the campus, but we have to tell them that try to involve yourself into these type of technologies. So I think that was a great challenge for teachers as well as for the students. And so at the end, I can say that there should be now a dedicated budget for these technologies for every educational institute to do, and equal amount needs to be spent on preparing our students, our teachers, for giving these type of digital learning experiences. So I think the next investment is to be done in these emerging technologies and the FDPs, where the teachers, the students, the mediators, and the people from, not from academic, but the non-academic people also to be trained in this. So I think that is a challenge, and we are doing it. We have done the regular FDPs have started, and those who are saying that we were not very comfortable in this using these technologies. So since they are coming now physically to the campuses, and they've started working on it. So I think this is a great role of emerging technologies, and we all should work on it.
When we see that hybrid is the future, and without digital, we cannot imagine education anywhere. So what should be the immediate priorities of the higher education institution, and as well as what is the expectation of higher education from the government?
Government has given us a great roadmap. If you see the MEP 2020, they have given us It's a you can say Gita you have to read that Gita and you have to understand each and every point of NEP 2020. If we are able to do that, the target is 2030. But now we have to give the bar chart. So it will be just like a construction, it will be a bar chart that where the pillars should be there. So who all should be involved is implementing these policies, how the ABC is to be implemented, because very many challenges are there. All the stakeholders are to be involved in these processes. So the future is, and I think the responsibility of all the educators is to work on this implementing of NEP 2020. And I think future is very bright for all of us because this policy came at a very right time and we have got a roadmap from the government. So now if government, the private and the industry and the regulator, if they all work together, the sky is the limit for India to work on, because we are very good in technology. Our young people are very, very good in technology. And I think that will be a great help to us. They are better than us of our age. The new students of young generation is better than us. That is why immediately within a week, they were able to shift from offline mode to online. So I think that is a challenge. And if everything goes well, we will try to achieve that.
Right. So while we are reimagining education given the current situation in India, you very rightly said that collaboration of not only private sector, but also the government as well as regulators and industry is very much needed.
Arpit, one thing which I wanted to add here is now what we have started amongst our universities is that even from university to university, it is either private or government, we all have started collaborating each other. And that was why we were able to do that, because online we were connected to each other and we knew that Chitkara University is good in this, and then another university very near to the Chitkara University is good in this particular field. Why not to join hand and use the facilities to the fullest? I think that was again came up with a very good point where not only these other stakeholders, but university to university, which never happened. This is first time it happened that we all are collaborating and we are all working about and talking about the best practices used by a particular university and to be followed by the other university and the vice versa. I think that is also came up with a very good idea that where we can collaborate with each other. Collaboration is the future of education.
And I think COVID-19 has given us this opportunity to collaborate with other counterpart educational institutions and ensure peer-to-peer learning to achieve higher goals. So with this, I conclude the discussion and I thank you, Dr. Madhu Chitkara, for joining us. It was really a great interaction with you. Our sincere thanks to you for accepting our invitation and making today's show wonderful. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Arpit. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.